or fewer unexpected moments. That means no breakdowns, no waiting on a call, and no nonsense. It's consistent care that prevents small issues from turning into big bills. Join the Comfort Club and get VIP treatment 365 days a year with 24-hour priority response, member-only discounts, and peace of mind on your home's most expensive systems. Call
John Henry's.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating
and electrical.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Hi, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear with Honda of Lincoln. Before I bring Andy on, we want to wish you joy, success, and good health in 2026. Andy, are you there?
Yes, I am, Charlie. And by the way, that was well said.
Andy, I know you want to kick off 2026 with a bang. What's going on at the dealership?
We got a lot going on here, Charlie. We have incredible savings on every new remaining 2025, New Year savings on every new 2026, special low long-term financing, and special lease rates. The biggest news is we have more than 400 new 2025 and 2026 Hondas to choose from.
How about pre-owned?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned Hondas right now, with prices starting at under $10,000, and we have special low rates.
Well, maybe it's time you experience the best. The Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Tomorrow is about the lessons we learn today. A farmer's market teaches us that community is grown together. Kids laughing shows us how joy is easy. And coffee on the porch reminds us to savor every moment. These are the lessons that shape a tomorrow we all share. One filled with trust, good company, and wide open dreams. That's the way banking should be. And that's Pinnacle Bank. Member FDIC.
You're listening to Bock the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley.
Defending Terrell Farley,
who last week in his first start was a holy terror, number 43.
And Jake Bockoven. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
Welcome to Bock the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's a chilly Monday, January 26, 2026 in Lincoln, Nebraska. What's up, Bock?
Hey, it is good to hear that voice once again on the 93.7 The Ticket airwaves here. Welcome back, Terrell.
Oh, man. Time didn't go by quick, and it went by too fast.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, I think I need another week. But not in another cold state.
Oh, yeah.
This time I have to go to a warm state.
Yeah, there you go. Get out of the... Yeah, because was it colder in Indiana or here in Nebraska, you think?
About the same.
Yeah.
About the same. They probably a little chillier. They don't work on their roads a lot. No pliers in the daytime. You know, I went to the store every morning at 6 o'clock, 5:30 to get me a coffee. Roads were terrible. But, you know, it was great to be there. Great to see both of my kids. Great to see my granddaughter, who's big, getting bigger, wilder. She runs the house.
How old is she now?
She's 2.
Oh, yeah. Terrible too.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I was along with her for a couple of days, probably like, I think one time they was gone 10 hours, man. I had to call them like, hey, what's going on here?
I took advantage of it.
Yeah, they took advantage of me good. My son left at 6 o'clock in the evening. He didn't come back to 12 o'clock that night. So, they was like, hey, we're going somewhere. We'll be right back. Hey, I got her. So,
Yeah.
Great trip. On the way back yesterday, kind of, so with the travel, made it from Fort Wayne to Chicago real early. Well, really on time. Then I got to Chicago. Probably a 4-hour layover there. I supposed to got on the plane at 3 something. We didn't load up to about 8. Got here in like 9. The pilot was really laying it heavy on that, whatever they call that, the gas in the air.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I swear, and Nick's going off to Ann Arbor. He's going to have to go through Chicago today, as Nebraska basketball coach plays Michigan in a top 5 matchup now tomorrow. We're sending Nick out there. But I swear, anytime anybody ever goes to Chicago, and it's the same way with me, there's some sort of delay. It's almost inevitable. It's the weather, just the amount of traffic going through there. It happens just about every time.
Well, it was more weather with us. It was more like the plane didn't use that plane that day. So they say, we got to warm the engine up.
Oh, yeah.
All this. They had to spray it with de-icer. And then they had to come back and do something to the engine again. So, it was a long day, but I made it here in time.
And that's always funny, too, because you want to get to your destination, but you also, you can't really forget about the engine. Just get us to where we need to go. You can't really, you want to fly in a plane that they know is ready to roll. So that's fair enough.
All right, Bock, let's move forward with some Nebraska men's basketball talk. I'm going to let you ask me questions later on after we I want to hit Nebraska wrestling and basketball, but later I want you to just, fill me in on some of the questions you had from last week and with some of the things that's going around in Nebraska, football, basketball, any sport you want to. But let's start with Nebraska men's basketball, number 5 in the nation, Bock. Can you believe this?
It's hard to believe. Again, it's a new day here in Nebraska, the highest ranking again as they move up in the AP poll and in the coaches poll at number 5 in both of them respectively. Houston dropping a game to Texas Tech over the weekend. We saw Purdue lose to both UCLA and Illinois. So both those teams dropping below the Huskers. For what it's worth, Michigan, number 3 in the AP poll, sitting tight there. Number 2 in the coaches poll. So depending on how you look at it, one way or the other, top 5 matchup. And no, I can't believe it. I never thought I'd see the day Nebraska's a top 5 team, and who's number 4 is Duke. And so, I've been kind of teasing all along, is Nebraska better than Duke? I want to see Nebraska. They're right there now. You're in that conversation. So it is incredible. And again, from a program that just needs a win in the NCAA tournament, and even through the years of watching it over the last 30 years or so, right, is that you've had teams that get in as the 11 seed or the 8 seed. And, and so you're not quite in this type of discussion, right? You're getting in, but not really top 25, borderline top 25 at times there at the end of the Tim Miles era and here for Coach Hoiberg, obviously. But top 5 is just something I never would have imagined. And that speaks to I think a lot of Husker basketball nation. And we're all just living in the dream right now.
And here's one thing I say that has us probably feeling better, because when you come out the football season, that the way we came off of it with 3 straight losses, this right here helps us so much to forget about that pain and just to keep cheering for the men's basketball team. I don't care about football till August now, because we got other great things going around here at this university. You got women's softball coming up. You have men's baseball coming up. Now you have basketball coming towards the end of the season where the March Madness comes out, and Nebraska has a great chance to have a great seeding in that. And the only thing I ask these guys to do is take it one game at a time. You had a great game against Minnesota over the weekend, Bock. When we talk about that 19-point win or something like that.
Yeah, big comeback in the second half.
Big comeback. Yeah, Price Sanford is really lighting it up lately. 22 points, 10 rebounds, 4 blocks. 2 steals. Jamarcus Lawrence, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Sam, the Gnat Horibird. That's what I'm going to call him right there, the Gnat.
Yes.
It's like a little bug that's messing with you while you sleep. 14 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. And this is great, Bock. And it keeps me from talking about football. The more I can stay off football topic, the more we'll be better when it comes right up in spring.
Well, yeah, and we'll see. I mean, again, there's going to be positive storylines in football too. But as you mentioned, the way the season lost, ended with the 3 blowout losses. A lot of change and stuff like that. But it's very much a program that's in prove it mode, right? There can be some positive stories, but is anybody going to really completely buy in? Until we see it on the field. Some people can, and again, Nebraska football is always going to be able to get you some clicks, and we'll certainly talk about it, but. It is a breath of fresh air to go from a lot of complaints and frustration with how that started to kind of fall apart to Nebraska basketball literally not losing a game, and here we are knocking on the door of February. So it's just it's nice, and then like you said, there's a lot of these other programs in Nebraska athletics doing well as well. So it is just at some point we'll see football try to catch up. And would remind folks they did win 7 regular season games this past year. That's the most they've done in several years. So there's an argument to be made that they're moving up as well. But, not obviously to the pace that where Nebraska basketball is here in the top 5. And you mentioned the dynamic players that they kind of have factored in and kind of had to step up. We knew Braden Frager day to day was going to be out of that Minnesota game. We'll see. Probably not looking great, but potentially maybe make a return here for the Michigan game. Michigan has opened up as a 9.5-point favorite. I think it went up to 10.5. I think part of that is Braden Frager not being available. I mean, but again, to your point, the people stepping up. I mean, 4 blocks from the point category is one thing, right? And it is, Sanford scored 22 points there in the second half when they went into halftime down 6 points. So that's a big deal. I don't want to underscore that. Same thing with Hoiberg. I mean, scoring up, he's been double digits these last, I think, 4 games. So he's kind of consistently being in that category. But, it's those 7 assists, those 4 blocks. I mean, those strides that you can make in those other categories in the box score that really make the difference for this team that is, just doesn't have a whole lot of weaknesses and at least hasn't had any weakness that's been exploited by this time.
Bock, if you're not a believer of Nebraska men's basketball, you've had 20 tries at it.
Yeah.
You had 20 tries already to not believe in this team or not believe what they're doing and to wake up from this dream. But, it's going to keep going on, Bock. Like we said, they have Michigan Tuesday night at 6. That's going to be on what? Peacock, ain't it?
Yeah, at 6 o'clock. I was going to go through what else Peacock has to offer so I can convince some people to get it. I think it's like $8. It's definitely worth it for this Nebraska-Michigan game. I think there's a few movies on there too.
Now, ESPN has the Wolverines as an 80.7% chance to win, Bock. We know how that is probably not correct at all, but how big is this game and what a win would do for Nebraska, Bock, when I ask you this?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it kind of vaults Nebraska up to that next level. And Nebraska's already in a great spot as far as tiers and levels, like we said, in the top 10. But I think it would kind of put you in, hey, should Nebraska be number 1? I mean, I don't know if you'd have a whole lot more to argue with there. Now, again, Arizona undefeated. They're, as long as they're undefeated, they're going to have an argument. They're among the top teams in college basketball coming in. So there's already a belief system there. By the way, they've got a big game this evening, I believe, against BYU. So by the time this game against Nebraska, Michigan does tip off, we could see some shuffling up there. Obviously not in the polls, but expected. But yeah, I mean, if Nebraska beats Michigan, you're talking about now the focus becomes we should win the Big Ten. We should definitely expect to be competing or win the Big Ten tournament. And then you're going to look at the number 1 seed. Now, again, there's going to be games down the line against Purdue and Illinois, Iowa breaking into the top 25 here in the coaches poll. So there's still going to be some big time games, but it puts Nebraska in a bit of a different conversation. If they lose, again, it's good because it doesn't dramatically drop you down. Nebraska is probably a top 10 team and should be a top 10 team even if they lose these next 2 games. So you're kind of playing with house money a little bit there as far as staying in the top 10. But as far as moving up and being the story in college basketball and being viewed as a legit national title contender, I think that starts with a victory against Michigan here Tuesday night if they can get it done.
What's better, Bob? Winning the Big Ten regular season or winning that Big Ten tournament?
The Big Ten tournament gets you the auto bid. So there is that. Obviously, if you're in that position, then that's there. I always value higher the Big Ten regular season because there's just more games. Any tournament, and I know this is how we do it in college football now, and college basketball has done it this way in the longest time. Any single elimination tournament, kind of anything can happen. But I would be much more proud of a basketball team in Nebraska to win an outright Big Ten regular season championship because that's such a long haul, such a long season. So many things have to go right, and you have to have a good team. You can't kind of just get hot at the right time and maybe have some teams lose on the other side of the bracket, all that sort of stuff. So, I would say by far, in my mind, it's always been the regular season.
All right, Bach, let's move on. Men's wrestling had a great matchup over the weekend, Bach. They lost in a thriller to Ohio State. I seen the Ohio State team at the airport yesterday. I was wondering
did you?
Why they was up there. When I got off my plane, I walked past probably about 10 of them.
Yeah, well, and it is a little bit of a turnaround. Came down to the final match there in the heavyweight division. Nebraska coming up just short, but they had to have this huge comeback there at Devaney Sports Center, and it was an impressive showing. Again, you don't want to take necessarily moral victories in doing this, but this was a matchup they lost to Ohio State earlier in the season. I think it was 33-3. And so to lose just the 17-16 in the points this time and be down, I think it was 14-0, as GBR captain shot off pointing out there on YouTube, and to come all the way back to take the lead again before dropping it in the final match there was really impressive. But it's again, didn't quite get the victory. I know they're looking for a little bit more than that, but individually, obviously along the way, some big victories for the Nebraska wrestlers, particularly for guys that turned around the results from earlier in the year, right? You lost to this Ohio State team. They mostly dominated you at the beginning of the season. To kind of make some strides and turn around and get some of those wins is a big deal for Nebraska wrestling. And then, part of this conversation, of course, has to be as well the Iowa match, which it wasn't as exciting, right? It didn't come down to the final match. Iowa won that one 22-14. And so, we kind of gloss over that a little bit, but you don't want to because it was the record. Nebraska broke the attendance record for the wrestling program in that game, in that match, that duel. So it is good to see that people are kind of getting behind them. That was specifically also on BTN at 8:00 on a Friday night, which was very cool, in the middle of basketball season to get that highlighted. But all of this is, you don't want to, on a two kind of a two dual lose streak here. You don't want to continue that, but unfortunately, you've got number one Penn State up next at Penn State on Friday. And so, again, a lot of this can come down to the individuals. If they are getting their wins, certainly you want to win as a team. But this is, I think it's the number one, number two, and number three teams that they've played here in the 3-game stretch in the Big Ten. That's how tough it is in the Big Ten, specifically when the schedule sets up that way. But we'll see. Hopefully they can get some momentum and maybe do the unthinkable, pull off the upset at the Bryce Jordan Center in University Park, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I seen the post that AJ Ferrari made. He in the overtime he talked about. He said Nebraska gang lost by 1 point tonight, and I lost an over team. I let my teammates, family, and supporters down, but we fought hard and we'll grow through this. We'll grow through this stronger. I think he had a great match, man. I hope the kid is not down on himself. I hope he can you can't win them all, especially to lose this type of match in overtime. It's great to see him out there, even competing hard like he does, man. It's just a great thing that we can just go from each event that Nebraska has, from wrestling to basketball to women's softball coming up now. Volleyball is over with. Football is over with. Now we move to the springtime of the sports, baseball. It's going to be a great little run this summer, Bob.
Yeah, it will be. And again, for Ferrari, speaking on that too, and now he's lost, I think, like 4 times in his career, not much more than that, and twice has been to Nick Feldman, the Ohio State heavyweight. So hopefully going to get a chance again at him at some point. This one was closer than the first one. Like I said, came down to the end there. So, a guy that is as dedicated to his craft as AJ Ferrari. I know he's going to go, kind of back to getting in work and getting another chance at Feldman at some point. But again, shout out to Terrell Taylor, got a win. LJ Arugio, Christopher Minto, Silas Allred, and Camden McDaniel all scoring wins against the highly ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. And I think for most of those cases, some of those cases, like Minto beat the number 4 kid in the nation in the 174 pound weight class. Allred beat the number 5. So, a lot of this was pretty big in Terrell Taylor's decision was up against the number 1. And that was part of it. Ohio State is just, they're the number 2 team in the nation because they're loaded. When you think Nebraska, okay, they fell down, 14-0 in the points category. 3 of those 4 matches were against the number 1 or 2 kid in the weight class. So it was going to be tough skating. It'll be tough ahead again with Penn State, who I don't think they've given up a point in the last 3 duels or something like that. I have to go back and look at it. But
if you look at their schedule, Bock, you look at Iowa was here the other day, Iowa. So you take out the Iowa match, you take out the Ohio State match, and now you're looking at a Penn State match. This is a grueling match, but it's only going to make this team better in the long run, and get through great adversity through this and get ready for the Big Ten tournament, and then get ready for nationals. So this team is, I think they're in good shape. Bock is just staying healthy and trying to win some matches before the end of the season.
Yeah. It was like last year. You can, if they get hot at the right time, they get the confidence rolling. Could see a few national champions out of the group, and then we'll see how they do as a team.
All right, Bock, let's go to break, and when we come back, where are we going to start it, Bock? We're going to do a little recap.
There we go. Yeah, I got a lot of questions to ask you about.
I got a lot I want to answer, too. 93.7 The Ticket, Bock in the Black Shirt. Yes, we are back in action here on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
Don't miss the family show of outdoor fun, the 57th Annual Boat Sport and Travel Show, January 30th to February 1st at the Sandhills Global Event Center. RVs, boats, docks, golf carts, resorts, fishing lures, family entertainment, and more. See exotic animals at Wildlife Encounters. Enjoy the petting zoo and the balloon lady. Doors open at noon on Friday, 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. Bring the neighbors. See you there.
Don't wait. The clock is ticking at Landmark Implement's annual inventory reduction sale. For a limited time, get special financing as low as 1.9% for 12 months, then 6.2% interest for 48 months on select equipment. No auction, no waiting, just inventory price to move. Once it's gone, it's gone. Visit Landmark Implement or shop online at landmarkimp.com. Then click on the featured used equipment and experience the Landmark difference.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Hey guys, this is former UFC fighter and mixed martial artist Anthony Lionheartston. The Upside Bar and Lounge in South Lincoln is the go-to spot for every UFC event, prelims, and main card. There's never a cover, so make sure you get there early and stay late. Upside Bar and Lounge has daily specials, a margarita club, and a taco club. And don't forget, they just added Buzz Bowls to their menu. Learn more about upcoming events by visiting UpsideBarLNK.com and stop into their South Lincoln location for every UFC event on 27th and Pine Lake.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Tune Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Byrne as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
A membership with John Henry's will fast-track you to front-of-the-line service, seasonal tune-ups, and far fewer unexpected moments. That means no breakdowns, no waiting on a call, and no nonsense. It's consistent care that prevents small issues from turning into big bills. Join the Comfort Club and get VIP treatment 365 days a year with 24-hour priority response, member-only discounts, and peace of mind on your home's most expensive systems. Call John Henry's.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
And electrical.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see lots of sunshine and it will be breezy with an afternoon high around 27. Tonight, mainly clear skies, a light breeze, the low around 13. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies with a light breeze and an afternoon high around 28. I'm meteorologist Kyle Pucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. And wow, what a year it was at Koppel. The Koppel family would like to say thank you for a record-setting sales year in 2025. Now let's start 2026 off with the bang. New GMC Sierra pickups starting at $12,500 off list or 0% APR. Also hot off the presses, new Terrain leases at $299 per month. That's right, $299 per month on new GMC Terrain leases. So please stop on in the store or online at koppelcars.com. Stock numbers G138852 and G165184, 2,500 down with proof credit.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
You're listening to Bock the Blackshirt. On air and online at theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Bock The Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We are powered
by
Bauer,
Infrastructure,
Bauer,
Underground,
Barrett,
Excavating.
Shout out to the Bauer crews out here working hard throughout Lincoln and Omaha area. Bill and Bennett asked, will the Ticket be doing Super Bowl squares this year? Yes, they will, Bill. We will start giving out squares next week during all the shows. So listen up and be ready for your squares pieces for the Super Bowl. Bob?
Yeah, that'll be exciting. We will definitely, we got the Super Bowl matchup, so we'll talk about that as we go on. I did want to also give a shout out to one of our other sponsors here. If you're craving something warm, sweet, and unforgettable, Insomnia Cookies has you covered. Whether you're hosting a party, planning an event, or getting ready for holidays, Insomnia Cookies delivers fresh, baked goodness right when you need it. Treat your guests to warm, melty classics, deluxe cookies, and even ice cream cookie sandwiches. Perfect for office celebrations, birthday surprises, you name it. Order ahead or get it delivered. Make your next event a little sweeter with Insomnia Cookies, located in downtown Lincoln at 16th and Q. But I also wanted to get a little bit of pick your brain here, Terrell, about what you missed this past week. It was an eventful week in the sporting world, and it's definitely in Nebraska as well. So we'll start off with the Mike Eckler news. Of course, it was long speculated, finally came to fruition that he's off to USC, was able to get a linebackers coaching job there, along with special teams and assistant head coach. And for all of that, we saw Matt Rule, of course, jump in front of this and try to get in front of the story in case it did happen. But what are your thoughts on Mike Eckler? Of course, it was a short stay. It was a fun stay. But now he's gone.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to say thanks to Mike Eckler for at least coming back and trying to make this thing work at the University of Nebraska. He did a lot for this special teams program. He did a lot for, just kids in general. When you talk about the enthusiasm and the hypeness he brought to this university with his special teams coaching ability. I don't like to play favoritism. I don't like to play both sides of the story. I think we lost a great coach. I think we lost more than just a special team coach. When you look at his resume, we could speculate. We could say a lot of things that we don't know as a whole, but we just know we lost a great coach, and Matt Rule has a right to position people as he wants on his coaching staff because he's the head coach. I would never second guess him, but I tell you what, this was a mistake right here when you let a guy like Eckler go. Great job for him trying to go and be just more than a special team coach, because this is what it was all down to, about him coaching positions and doing special teams. And I guess Matt Rule didn't see it as that way, but at the end of the day, Eckler has to do what Eckler needs to do, and he's in a position now where he's a assistant head coach. I don't care what title or what people say, that is no such thing as an assistant head coach. But at the same time, congratulations to Eckler. Let's just move forward. And I mean, like I said, you can always try to copy what a master does, but sometimes you don't copy it the right way.
And of course, you were one of the best special teams players in Nebraska football history. Can I ask you how much you came in that? I mean, we've done it before. I've read your scouting report coming in. You have a ridiculous amount of block punts and kicks. So you came in a very good special teams player. How much did the special teams coach kind of affect you in your play through special teams in your day?
I mean, that's probably any kid that just wants to get on the field and play. You should be very anxious and trying to learn that starting role on a kickoff team, punt return, punt team. Any one of those. I mean, that's where you're going to start off first, especially if you're a young guy and you want to, it's just like the NFL. You have a better chance of making, as a special teams guy, better than you do a position guy, because, it's going to be only a couple of guys on the special teams that's going to be, not really a role player, but just a special teams player. But, it's just a way to get on the field and leads to more playing time. So guys got to take this thing serious and don't joke around on the sidelines when it's time for special teams practice.
Well, that is one story that kind of rocked the Nebraska football world last week. Let's move on to the next. Trey Taylor and Tay Ellis, both high school commits to Nebraska football, are moving to Lincoln to play in Omaha and play in Millard South for their senior year of high school. This was much talked about from both angles, both the Husker angle of maybe you're trying to, starting to get a plan in place to get your recruits to Nebraska quicker and more, as Trey Taylor kind of put it, maybe a bit of a redshirt season to kind of get accustomed to what goes on here. And then the other part of it was the Millard South part of it. I mean, they dominated and beat up everybody last year to the point it wasn't fair. I had 12 guys on the roster that were D1 commits, and here they go again. They look ready to roll again, and maybe a bit of a feeder school for Nebraska football in the future. What were your thoughts on Trey Taylor and Tay Ellis coming to play their senior year of high school in the great state of Nebraska?
Well, it's strange when I heard it, because growing up in high school is like college, like a mini college. When you say the guys you grew up with for 4 years, the neighborhood kids, your prom, things like that. But you probably don't ever forget your high school friends. They last longer than college teammates do. So, but at the same time, I just wanted the kid to live life, have a great time where he at, and then come experience the college life. Don't rush it, because something that you rush too hard to get, it might not never come your way. So, I was just take it easy, take it step by step. I don't see why you have to move to Nebraska to, for that reason, but, to be closer to this football team, I don't want you to get here and let it wear you out early enough in life where by the time you're a sophomore and junior, you be ready to bolt.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It shows an unbelievable level of commitment at this time from a high school senior. Again, in a day and age where the transfer portal is so prominent, and kind of the highest bidder certainly at least gets the attention. And we think of it that way. Again, I like to point out that there are a lot of kids sticking around and staying with their original school. We just kind of pay attention to the teams that don't. But, that's what kind of struck me about how surprising it was. It's just, nothing is guaranteed beyond next season for anybody in the Nebraska football program. And so to completely kind of uproot your life and get it prepared for that next spot is, again, just shows that an incredible level of commitment and belief in this coaching staff, and that the thing there at Nebraska football is moving in the right direction. The program is moving in the right direction. So, I thought that was intriguing. Certainly, you're right. It does. It part of that is giving up your senior year of high school, but he did plan on and does plan on early enrolling. So it really kind of comes down to half a year for him. A lot of people talk about that drive from Lincoln to Omaha that he's going to be making, or at least to Millard South.
If I was the school board, I say no. You're already telling me that's rule breaking, Bock, for anything. I mean, the travel wise. I mean, go to school here in Lincoln. I mean, go to Lincoln High School. Help them out.
It
Lincoln
is a bit strange, yeah.
Lincoln Southeast, something like that. I mean, this is not a terrible football town. It's just need help.
Well, and that's the question, along the competition level. Certainly, once we get to the high school view of it, because we're kind of talking mostly through Nebraska, college football is this the most competitive move to make? And that's what's kind of interesting. Maybe it was kind of directed there. That's the school that just won the championship, but they beat just about everybody 84-0. They had teams forfeit rather than play them because of how bad they would beat them up. And so, what type of competition are you necessarily going to face once you get there? We'll see. Again, they lost a lot off that roster. Of course, Alabama quarterback moving off the roster, and in comes a Nebraska quarterback. So good for Millard South one way or the other to kind of put all this together. But I did find that a bit strange too. Not necessarily just even the drive, which a lot of people again focus on, which he mentioned. He makes a longer drive right now. And as far as in the rules, NSAA does allow this to happen. You can transfer. I mean, you live in Lincoln and play in Broken Bow if you want to make the drive every day. They allow you to do it one time, at least in your career, to go outside your district. So we'll see where that. But what do you think about kind of the choice of school there outside of the drive? Is that it's kind of like Kevin Durant joining the Warriors, I guess. Put it that way.
What's that?
Just that he's joining the best team that defeated everybody last year. So if he's looking for competition and to truly get better through his senior year, as you said, might have been better if you're living in Lincoln to go to Lincoln Southeast, my alma mater, or Lincoln High, or any of these other schools. Certainly, the best Lincoln team. I get that you want to play for a competitive team, but they were so dominant that they weren't competitive. They blew everybody out.
Yeah, I mean it's a super team put together. So I'm not here to dog Millard South or any team, but I played against teams like that in high school. They did that in Georgia Wayland in the '90s, and sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. At the end of the day, somebody has somebody to answer to of a higher power when it gets out and everything's not going everybody's way, because parents are going to be disgruntled. The quarterback of the future, who's supposed to be up next, he's going to be disgruntled about this. And it's just, that's why, I say that the kids should have just really stayed and finished the year out in Chicago.
Yeah. Interesting decision. Will definitely make Nebraska prep football interesting next year. That will be the story once again for Millard South. All right, let's jump to another thing I wanted to ask you about, because we haven't heard you yet on the most miraculous college football story we may have seen in our lifetime, which is Indiana. And Curt Cignetti somehow going from the losingest program in college football history to going undefeated and finishing up with the victory there against Miami. I know we talked about it all season long, kind of getting there, but now that it's finalized, what are your thoughts there on Indiana winning the national championship?
Really a modern day football, when you talk about it, how rules are set up now with transfer portal and NIL, it's more easier to put a team together, but to do it in the fashion that Curt Cignetti did, you would probably think a top team would be able to do it first, not a guy who come to a university who hasn't won anything, and to do it and to lose 2 games in 2 years is miraculous. Then to go undefeated in his second year at Indiana, it makes you wonder. I try to stay out the topic because now I have to talk about Nebraska when I talk about this topic, because there's nothing Curt Cignetti did different than what Matt Rule's doing different, besides he's probably just a better coach. Athlete-wise, he knows how to bring the best out of his guys. He could take guys that's no stars, 1 stars, or 2 stars and make them play like 5-star. So, one thing we have to learn is that we have to go out there and still play our game at the end of the day. And it kind of hits hard right here because, it makes you wonder, are we really, as a university, trying hard enough? Are we trying as hard as Indiana did? Are we trying as hard as Miami did? Are we trying as hard as Ohio State them tried when they put their teams together and go play for playoff bids every year and national championship hopes?
Yeah, it is. It's definitely interesting. I mean, certainly Indiana was able to dig themselves out of a deeper grave than what will be asked out of Nebraska. But if you reflect this on your program, the success at Indiana, you could do it anywhere, right? I mean, even as great as Georgia or Ohio State are, how do you think they feel reflecting on their coach? What Kurt Cignetti's winning with a much lesser roster, and they can't get it done. So I mean, it is every coach across the country is going to be facing some heat, and that's because of Kurt Cignetti. How much of an outlier he was winning a national title with a team full of 3-stars. I mean, it's just unfathomable. Haven't seen it done. Certainly in Bloomington, and just the development that he did. Now there's different routes that he took. We all know about the James Madison core that he brought with him to Indiana, and they played a big factor in winning this national championship. I think much has been made about him specifically targeting kind of older guys in the portal and getting an older team out there that is played. Not so much looking at where does this guy project, but hey, this guy can play. Bring him in. We can fit him in. Here we go. Type of idea. But yeah, it is. It's still again watching college football for over 30 years. It's the most miraculous championship I've ever seen. Now you talk about runs and Saban winning as many as he did and all that sort of stuff. But in one singular season, and even if you expand it to 2, because Cignetti was pretty close to that with the previous season. But in this past season, in year 2, just redefines what we can consider success. I mean, again, you go back to new coaching hires. We used to say, well, wait till he gets his guys in, and schedule concerns, and development has to take this long for the strength and conditioning program to kick in, and all that sort of stuff. All those old excuses are kind of out the door.
How would you probably rank this team when you talk about, let's say, before NIL and transfer portal? How would you rank this team? I mean, would you just, we can only go that era only when we talk about transfer portal, NIL championships now. Or can we just put them as national champions?
Well, I mean, I think you could do it in both. You can kind of compare them to both. I don't know if it was, and there began to get discussions of an all-time team. And I think with the route that they played, they beat everybody that they needed to. Kind of funny in the modern day where you have this expanded playoff. A lot of the lower seeds actually made it. Of course, they beat a 10 seed in the championship game, so it didn't take on the highest seeds. In my mind, there's 16 games. Of course, that's only been done, I believe, once, going back to the college football history in the 1800s. But that's just more of the amount of games that that was going to happen at some point if somebody was going to go undefeated through these long playoffs. So I don't know if I'd put them up there all time, but just because they had a few close games, there's a team, maybe one that you played on, I believe, a 95 Husker team that only had one close game, if you call that, against Washington State. So I think there's room and then further into discussion, but I wouldn't necessarily propel them to the greatest team of all time. But it doesn't mean it's not the greatest. It still could be the greatest accomplishment of all time. And then we kind of get in. It's funny when you start those conversations, you can get in, well, who's the most talented team of all time? Who would win on the field? All that sort of stuff. But of course, here in Nebraska, it's a pretty safe argument. 95 Huskers were the greatest team of all time, and probably we partially thank you for that.
All right, Bock, let's move on. I'm not going to take any congratulations calls today.
Well, hey, we took you off the 95 team. I don't know if we're talking about the greatest team of all time.
You still win it. I don't know how big or much you win it, though. I know you still win. 93.7 The Ticket. Bock the Blackshirt. We're on from Monday through Friday from 1 to 3 here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Tomorrow is about the lessons we learn today. A farmer's market teaches us that community is grown together. Kids laughing shows us how joy is easy. And coffee on the porch reminds us to savor every moment. These are the lessons that shape a tomorrow we all share. One filled with trust, good company, and wide open dreams. That's the way banking should be. And that's Pinnacle Bank. Member FDIC.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. And wow, what a year it was at Koppel. The Koppel family would like to say thank you for a record-setting sales year in 2025. Now let's start 2026 off with the bang. New GMC Sierra pickups starting at $12,500 off list or 0% APR. Also hot off the presses, new Terrain leases at $299 per month. That's right, $299 per month on new GMC Terrain leases. So please stop on in the store or online at koppelcars.com. Stock numbers G138852 and G165184, $2,500 down with proof credit.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, and they've built neighborhoods in and around Lincoln for over 25 years.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of January, because get an early start on it. Sit down, the snow's flying, let's sit around the table, let's drop some plans, let's put numbers together, let's get a budget put together, and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Clear your calendar. It's a volleyball weekend in Omaha. Love Nebraska returns to Baxter Arena for back-to-back home matches on January 30th and February 1st, facing Love Madison and Love Austin. 2 matches, 2 chances to see your hometown team compete as the season heats up. Featuring Lexi Rodriguez and Jordan Larson taking on the likes of Lauren Carlini and Maddie Skinner, and special moments throughout the weekend. This is your opportunity to catch all the action live. Make it one night or both nights. Get your tickets now at lobbneb.com/tickets.
Most resolutions for the new year fail before January is even over. Why not resolve to just be a little bit cleaner in 2026? Nebraska Auto Detail is here for you. Now through March 30th, if you purchase a ceramic coating, you'll get a free interior detail. There's no better way to start your year than taking care of your car and decluttering the mess that it becomes so easily. Book your detail today at NebraskaAutoDetail.com or call Joe and the team at 402-601-5086.
Hey guys, this is former UFC fighter and mixed martial artist Anthony Lionheart Smith. The Upside Bar and Lounge in South Lincoln is the go-to spot for every UFC event, prelims, and main card. There's never a cover, so make sure you get there early and stay late. Upside Bar and Lounge has daily specials, a margarita club, and a taco club. And don't forget, they just added Buzz Bowls to their menu. Learn more about upcoming events by visiting UpsideBarLNK.com and stop into their South Lincoln location for every UFC event on 27th and Pine Lake.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Bock and the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We are powered
by
Bauer.
Infrastructure.
Bauer.
Underground.
Barrett.
Excavating.
Shout out to the Bauer crews out there working hard throughout Lincoln. Thomas in Lincoln says, 05 Texas Longhorns, greatest team of all time.
I wouldn't go that far, but it was one of the best comebacks of all time and games of all time against USC that day. I would say that's the best game I've seen is USC and Texas in 05.
Let's see right here. Gus Mohawk saying something. Joe McAvick, Nebraska fullback from 95 to 98, never had a negative yard rushing attempt from scrimmage. Okay.
Did you end up meeting him in the hole a few times in practice or not really?
Not Joe, really.
Yeah, Joe was a little younger, I suppose.
Yeah, he was a little younger, but practiced against him a little bit, but we didn't really meet heads like that. You know, I probably met it with Schuster a couple of times, probably Billy Legate on the practice squad, on the practice guys over there on the walk-ons, Josh Cobb. I know Willie Miller was on there for a year. Dan Alexander was on there for a year. Yeah, you don't meet those guys like every day. We don't have most of the times those guys are scared and they just do it right and don't want to get beat up.
Well, of course, you weren't in the goal line package, as you say, as well.
Oh, no, I'm not a goal line person.
Yeah.
All right. Any more of them questions, Bock, you had?
I was looking through it. I think that's about all as far as the weekend rewind. That was obviously a big week, an interesting deal, but certainly did want to ask you as well about the Super Bowl matchup we have here. Now, the Patriots defeat the Broncos 10-7 in that snow game. The snow was just heavy there in the fourth quarter. Kickers were combined 1 of 5 from field goals. So not much scoring going on there, but the Patriots, of course, franchise that deserves to get back, right? Everybody's been feeling so bad for their fans. No, but they are back. And then the Seahawks outlasted the Rams, of course. A lot of scoring in this game. But now we have Patriots and Seahawks. Seahawks opened as a 3.5-point favorite for the Super Bowl, but the underdogs have won the past 3 Super Bowls. It is also interesting. This is the first time that the Patriots will be the underdog for the first time in the Super Bowl since 2002. It'll break a streak of 8 consecutive Super Bowls in which they have been favored. Of course, many of those with Tom Brady at the helm. In fact, all of them. That 2002 game was when they upset the greatest show on turf, the St. Louis Rams. So all that interesting. Of course, the other thing is the Super Bowl is interesting because it's neither of these teams were expected to get here. Of course, in the preseason, both entered the campaign at plus 6,000 to get in. So it's been an unbelievable ride, but here we are, Sam Darnold against Drake May for the Super Bowl. You excited for this matchup?
Didn't expect either team to be this, in this. I think this Super Bowl is more about Sam Darnold, man, and the route he's been going through and just the things he's been through in football, especially, started off with the Carolina Panthers, and then the great year he had in Minnesota, just things like that. And then now he comes back, he started off with the Jets originally.
Yeah.
Then Carolina, then the Minnesota, but then, San Fran in 23. This
As
show,
a backup, yeah.
As a backup, now this kid, I think a lot of people gave up on Sam Darnold.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, especially when you look at what he did in Minnesota, that was great. But then he comes back and does it again, and Seattle now has this team one win away from the Super Bowl. Great coaching staff over there in Seattle. I like the way they do that team. It has a young team, great receivers. It's going to be a good game, though, Bob. Especially when you look at what what's his name?
Vrabel,
Mike Vrabel over there at New England, and the young quarterback that Drake made that he has, and just two great organizations going at it.
Yeah, certainly. Both these teams have been in the Super Bowl here a time or two that we can remember. And, I think it is interesting. A lot of people are going to be favoring the Seahawks, and that's fair. They've got, I think you've got two really good defenses, obviously leading their teams to the Super Bowl. But the Seahawks have a lot more firepower on the offensive side of the ball. That being said, the Patriots just, have not been blown out this year. So I still think we're going to get a pretty good game out of this. Sam Darnold, to your point, is kind of the story now. Of course, had that great year, like you said, with the Vikings, but that came to a halt once it got to the playoffs. Kind of interesting that was also against the 49ers. So it's an interesting to see how he's been able to turn that career around, and also as it continues to age, Matt Rule's time in Carolina has less excuses for why it went the way it did. When he first got to Nebraska, I was going, he really didn't have a quarterback. You need a quarterback in the NFL if you're going to have a chance. When you're in especially in Carolina. And we look back and he kind of had the old Cam Newton and PJ Walker. And at that time, we thought Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold's career were basically ended partially because of what they were doing in Carolina. But both of them have obviously resurrected their career, and Sam Darnold to where he is now. The other interesting fact about this Super Bowl, and if you look at it from the college level, is that no USC quarterback has ever started a Super Bowl. So that's kind of surprising given the history that they have there at quarterback. I also think, for what it's worth, I think it is the 25th. I have to go through my notes. Right now, Georgia has the longest streak of players in a Super Bowl with 25 consecutive years. Penn State was roasted this week for a graphic they put out online that said they had an alum in every Super Bowl, and then in the fine print underneath it said except for 5 times since 1967. So a lot of teams had some fun with that. Nebraska, of course, was in this conversation at one time, but their 26-year streak ended in the year 2000.
We got anybody playing this year?
I don't believe so. I'd have to double check, but not on top of my head. I don't
anybody on Seattle? Anybody on New England?
Patriots? I don't think so.
All right, 93.7 The Ticket. Bock the Blackshirt. We'll be right back.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to get stronger just around the corner, so you can give everything you've got. Whether you want to crush a few reps before class with our expanded strength equipment or sweat it out on your way home from work. With over 2,800 locations, there's a Planet Fitness close to you, and most are open 24 hours. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 30th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep the clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street, online at doubleeagle.golf.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see lots of sunshine and it will be breezy. The afternoon high around 27. Tonight, mainly clear skies, a light breeze, the low around 13. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies with a light breeze, and an afternoon high around 28. I'm meteorologist Kyle Pucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Fern as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Have you been looking for home technology upgrades but don't know where to turn? Online information can be contradicting and confusing. Lincoln's own experts at Diode Technologies can turn your living room into the place to watch your favorite sports. Whatever your vision is, Diode Tech is ready to make it a reality. From home theaters to outdoor entertainment spaces, they bring you along through the entire process to make sure you get exactly what you want. If you're ready to upgrade your entertainment space, visit Diode Tech online at diodetech.net or give them a call at 402-793-5124.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Most resolutions for the new year fail before January is even over. Why not resolve to just be a little bit cleaner in 2026? Nebraska Auto Detail is here for you. Now through March 30th, if you purchase a ceramic coating, you'll get a free interior detail. There's no better way to start your year than taking care of your car and decluttering the mess that it becomes so easily. Book your detail today at nebraskaautodetail.com or call Joe and the team at 402-601-5086.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra premium protein ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
You're listening to Bock the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley. Defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror. Number 43.
And Jake Bockoven. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
Welcome back to Bock the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We're on Monday through Friday from 1 to 3. How's your day going, Bock?
Hey, not too bad. Glad to have you back with us here on Bock the Blackshirt as we get it rolling. We've got plenty of things to kind of break down and some surprising news that I just saw go across as well that I'm sure we'll get plenty of people talking regarding Shedeur Sanders, as if there's ever not a time to talk more Shedeur Sanders.
Before you get to that, Bock, Diego Pavia, official height weight ahead of the Senior Bowl. I didn't know he was that little, Bock. Now I see why he's angry all the time.
Small man syndrome?
Small guy syndrome.
Yeah.
5'9" and 7'8", 198 pounds.
Yeah.
5'9", he's shorter than Kyler Murray.
Yeah, about my height.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's going to make a great pro. Certainly his antics there after the Heisman Trophy ceremony probably didn't help him. But yeah, and I'm glad. I mean, he called out specifically the Big Ten, mentioned Nebraska here this past offseason and how that compared to playing in the SEC. Now the Big Ten's, of course, won 3 championships, but he also mentioned Iowa as part of kind of mocking the Big Ten schedule. And of course, they've sent him in his career home with the victory there in the bowl game too. So Diego Pavia, certainly a lightning rod, a fun player to follow throughout his college career. But I like the one thing I do like about him is he plays the villain role and he'll lean into it. It's not, that's at least the fun part about it.
Bob, they had him listed as 6 foot, Bob.
He shrunk. He shrunk a few. Yeah, was that?
That says Vandy, Diego Pavia official height measurement at the Senior Bowl is a bad sign for the NFL draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome to Winnipeg. He'll be a Canadian quarterback.
Yeah, could be. I did want to correct something that I said after the last segment. We said there's no Huskers in the Super Bowl. I don't think there will be any Huskers playing in the Super Bowl this year, but Brendan Hymas is on the practice squad for the Patriots. So practice squad counts too. So I wanted to go out there and say that. It's kind of interesting because he's been on and off the practice squad this past year. So on September 1st, he was signed to the Patriots practice squad. On December 23rd, he was signed to the active roster. On December 29th, he was released and then re-signed to the practice squad. So, I don't necessarily expect him to get the call-up or anything, but at least some representation for the Huskers in a small way.
All right, Bock, let's get back on this Diego Pavia. Bock, who's the shortest quarterback ever in the NFL?
You got it in front of you? Doug Flutie, maybe?
No.
Huh?
Davey O'Brien.
Okay.
He was 5'7".
That was before they kind of made the
Bryce Young is 5'10". Kyler Murray is also listed at 5'10". Russell Wilson at 5'11". Drew Brees played in NFL, listed as 6 foot even.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, Bob. When we read all these things in college that I tell you all the time, Bob, they say, oh, man, this kid is 6'3", 230. When you get up there and look at him, Bob, he's 6 foot, 198. I can tell just by looking at kids. That's what McCullum last year.
Yeah.
They said, oh, man, I said, this kid is no bigger than me, but he's just taller. And they want him to play defensive end.
But they have him listed at 235. I mean.
Yeah, he wasn't 235. He was probably 210 soaking wet. 205 if we want to give a couple of pounds away.
Well, you've been through the process. Did they ask you if you want a bump or how does it go?
I don't know.
They didn't like weigh you and officially or anything?
Well, I've been to the combine, so I know my natural height and weight. I'm 5'11", and I'm probably a little under 6 foot.
Yeah.
But I always always had to wait when I was 198 at the combine. So, but when you see these guys that, they do this all the time. And same thing with Rashawn. I said, you probably had yours 6'3", 275 in the thing. And you get there and you look at them and they 5'11" and 225 pounds.
Yeah, well, at least he was proud, at least to be the 6 foot tight end, because you don't see that very often. So maybe that was one case where he'd be fine with his actual height just to show how tough he was. But yeah, I mean, it's something that as you mentioned, it happens all the time. It's kind of funny to see, going from the college rosters to these pro evaluations. I mean, we saw that, in the NBA. There's a kid that was, I think, listed at like 4 inches taller than he was before he got to the NBA scouting report. So it's crazy. And at some point they're going to weight. Maybe that's one thing you could always argue, well, this or that.
But how do you go from 6 foot to 5'9" like that? That's like 3 inches, Bock. Like, come on now.
It was wearing some heels or something. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I see why this guy was like that. Now I see he had the short man syndrome.
Yeah.
He's a very angry guy.
He is.
Yeah.
Now I did want to real quickly get to that Shedeur Sanders news because it is interesting. Shedeur Sanders, of course, fresh off starting this past year for the Cleveland Browns.
Look, somebody sent mine 6'1".
Oh, they got you in there.
205. I always
6'1".
Yeah.
When were you 6'1"?
I probably shrunk.
You shrunk.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, I think they did that with you too. Maybe you had cleats on.
Yeah, maybe I had my uniform on, but I was 205. I never lied about my weight, Bob.
Yeah,
never lied about my weight.
That's what somebody says. It says height is with the grass cleats on, maybe.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I never lied about my weight. 205.
Yeah, and
Still
you stayed
205.
Yeah, you stayed 205.
Yeah,
and still the same shape since college.
Yep.
That's good. That's a lot better than what most people could say.
Yeah, somebody tried. Who said that? He tried to get me horns down. He tried to get me with a lie. See, 6'1". I was only a foot off, Bob. So inch off.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I was 6'4", 230.
Yeah. Still, so you don't think you were ever 6'1", or do you think that was made with cleats on?
I never put that in there. They put that in there.
Yeah. That's news to you.
Yeah, only part I put in there is Columbus, Georgia.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the only part I put in there. They gave me the number. They gave me the linebacker position. I was already 205. I never said I was 6'1".
Well, maybe, I guess you sound more intimidating.
Yeah, 6'1",
yeah.
205-pound linebacker. Yeah. Instead of 5'11", 5 3/8.
Yeah. You gotta, like the kids do, you gotta add in that extra inch or percentage of an inch or whatever.
All right, Bock, I got the.
Well, let me pay off the Browns real quick.
I forgot about that.
Shedeur Sanders named to the Pro Bowl as a replacement this past year, kind of shocking everybody. The original AFC quarterbacks selected were Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, and Drake May. Of course, with Drake May off to the Super Bowl, there's at least one spot open for new quarterbacks. And Sanders didn't really have an argument, but he still went out there and played this year. 3-4 as a starter, completed 56% of his passes, 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 10 picks in 8 total games started. So certainly, not to dog on him as become popular. A lot of people kind of make him the enemy, but there's also just these insane things that are kind of happening from him getting his jersey retired at Colorado now to being pushed into the Pro Bowl. Now, a reminder: the Pro Bowl now is a flag football game, so there might the only explanation that a lot of people are kind of coming up with, because Trevor Lawrence was initially named as the top alternate and is a finalist, I believe, for the NFL MVP. The idea is maybe enough quarterbacks ahead of him decided, no, I don't want to go to the Pro Bowl. But the other idea behind it might be, like it has kind of been all along for Shedeur Sanders, is doors just seem to open up for him a little bit quicker and wider than they do for most people. Must be some nepotism.
Now he has his jersey retired.
He's a rookie,
a rookie Pro Bowler in the 5th round. He's going to get paid for that part of it. Congratulations. I have nothing bad to say.
I don't necessarily, I usually don't and try to stick up for him because, again, he is a big time target. But again, there's some of these things that happen that there's no really defending that. It's I'll be interested to see, as the story just broke about an hour ago, to kind of see what the background is on that, or how they got down to the I don't know, 29th pick there in the AFC.
Well, we got the Super Bowl this weekend, don't we, Bob?
I believe we have a week off, don't we?
Yeah, I think it's a week off, February 3rd or something. I think it's the week of signing day. Signing day is still the first week of February, ain't it? For high school.
Yeah, it should be.
Do we have any kids, you think, for that part?
Just
except that defensive lineman they going out there.
They got that quarterback from Las Vegas. I don't know if he's officially signed yet. But yeah, I mean it's basically done. Most kids don't wait anymore. Super Bowl, by the way, is on February 8th.
Now here's Todd Husker biker. He said I was listed as 6'1", 200 pounds with full uniform on. In reality, I was 5'11", 185 as a linebacker at Lincoln East in 1985.
They were doing it in high school, huh?
Yeah. See? And Bill and Bennett said, did you get to pick number 43 or it was assigned to you? It was given to me. I think I started off in 50-something. I didn't like it. I told Coach, I said, I don't like the 50s. Made me look little, real little. So they gave me 43. And then I think somebody said, oh, man, the last guy who wore 43 almost broke his neck here. And they was talking about it was kind of hunted. I mean, not hunted, but
cursed.
A cursed number. I said, nah, it's not cursed. You just got to make the best out of it. You got to make that number your number. So that's how I felt. I was like, 43 was mine.
And did you got 43 at the Packers too, didn't you?
Yep, I got it there. And then when I went to Canada, I went back to my JUCO number. Because I think somebody had my 43 in Canada.
What was your JUCO number?
8.
Okay, yeah.
I had 47 in high school.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty close to it.
47 in high school. So different numbers. And I felt comfortable with 8 because, 4-4, however you want to play it or roll it.
So they didn't let you pick when you initially got to Nebraska?
No. It's hard to pick your own number in college, especially with a team we had. I wasn't getting 8. Tyrone Williams had that, and I was just gonna go with the flow.
Yeah, it's interesting. Over the years, we've even seen it kind of progress to this. Is a lot of new guys on campus getting those numbers. You think it's part of the recruiting process. Back in, I don't want to say back in the day, but before maybe the last 10, 15 years or so, you'd often see like freshmen. And you still see it today, not completely gone away, but you'll see, freshmen kind of change their numbers throughout their career, right? The first year you kind of get what's assigned to you, and as you work your way up, you can kind of get a newer number. And of course, now with Nebraska, we know they've got the single-digit honor that will, I would assume, would be back again. No reason to get rid of it. So we'll see kind of how that goes about. But I have definitely noticed over the years now, a lot of freshmen or high-end recruits seem to get single-digit numbers across college football more than they used to.
Did you see the guy who got 93 for Nebraska? The D tackle from Boston College.
Oh, yeah. Well, doesn't Cade Petchock had it this past year, though?
93?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying those some big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
I would never want to wear that jersey right there.
Yeah, there's been a few Huskers that have tried it since. But yeah, that's you're always going to be thinking or looking and comparing to Ndamukong Suh a little bit. But I mean, he's such a high level, especially for a Cade Petchock. You can try to make your own name out of it, but it's one of those things. There are a few jerseys in Husker football history that's just going to be the name you think of, and I think 93 will always be Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah. Well, Michael Booker's son had mine 43.
That's right. Yeah.
And I always tell him, let's go 4-3.
Yeah.
And he'll turn around and hey, I was like, yeah, the real 4-3 right here. Checking you out. So
now he's graduated, right?
Yeah, he's graduating.
So we'll see. There will be a new 43.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Likely will be.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, Bock, take us out.
All right, you're listening to Bock The Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We've got 2 more segments. Don't go anywhere. Still 40 minutes of show right after the break here on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Doren. God bless you.
Hi, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear with Honda of Lincoln. Before I bring Andy on, we want to wish you joy, success, and good health in 2026. Andy, are you there?
Yes, I am, Charlie. And by the way, that was well said.
Andy, I know you want to kick off 2026 with a bang. What's going on at the dealership?
We got a lot going on here, Charlie. We have incredible savings on every new remaining 2025, New Year savings on every new 2026, special low long-term financing, and special lease rates. The biggest news is we have more than 400 new 2025 and 2026 Hondas to choose from.
How about pre-owned?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned Hondas right now with prices starting at under $10,000, and we have special low rates.
Well, maybe it's time you experience the best. The Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, invites you to the Spring Equipment and Technology Clinic, February 3rd through the 5th at the Buffalo County Fairgrounds in Kearney. New this year, the planter and sprayer clinics are combined into one streamlined, hands-on event built around growers' time and needs. Get expert training on John Deere planters and sprayers on topics including maintenance, technology, and autonomy. Don't miss it, February 3rd through the 5th in Kearney. Visit landmarkimp.com/events for details.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
The place you call home should always be a place of comfort. Warm and cozy in winter, cool and relaxing in summer. If your home isn't delivering the comfort you expect, call Bryant. It's more than just hot and cold to them. It's about providing the best comfort solutions. And Bryant gives you a full 24-month test drive on your home comfort system. Get full details at BryantLincoln.com or call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Let's fly. Your next trip starts at Lincoln Airport with American Airlines. Now flying nonstop service to Dallas, Fort Worth, and Chicago. American Airlines connects Lincoln to major hubs and destinations around the globe. Wherever you're headed, LNK gets you there with new nonstop flights on American Airlines.
Now boarding.
Convenient, fast, and stress-free. Book your next flight at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see lots of sunshine and it will be breezy with an afternoon high around 27. Tonight, mainly clear skies, a light breeze, the low around 13. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies with a light breeze and an afternoon high around 28. I'm meteorologist Kyle Puckett for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves. Braves and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Bock and the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. All right, Bock, I have something for you. The way too early top 25 for 26.
Oh.
Way too early.
Way too early.
You want to hear them?
I do.
All right, number 1 through 5. Number 1, Ohio State. Number 2, Indiana. Number 3, Texas. Number 4, UGA. Number 5, Oregon. Number 6, Notre Dame. Number 7, Texas Tech. Number 8, Texas A&M. Number 9, Miami. Number 10, Oklahoma. Number 11, BYU. Number 12, LSU. Number 13, Ole Miss. 14, Michigan. 15, USC. 16, Alabama. 17, Penn State, which I don't know how.
Basically,
18,
Iowa State moved up north.
18, Utah. 19, Washington. 20, Louisville. 21, SMU. 22, Iowa. 23, Missouri. 24, Houston. And 25, Vandy.
Well, and as you're going through it again, I couldn't help but think of Nebraska's schedule next year. 3 of the top 5 then there, including the top 2, Ohio State, Indiana, of course, Oregon, you mentioned in the top 5. And it might be way too early, but I don't think some of those, we know with the transfer portal and everything that's kind of gone on, a lot of things are kind of set. So it kind of makes sense now. Those rankings aren't going to change too much. Then throw in Washington, Iowa in there as well. You didn't mention Illinois. They didn't maybe make the cut, but that's a 9-win team from last year. It's going to be a difficult schedule. And by the way, we know that what the schedule includes as far as which opponents Nebraska will play, home and away, all that sort of stuff. But we don't know in which order. And that will be announced, I believe, tomorrow. It was 4:30, somewhere around, but tomorrow afternoon, we'll get the official dates on that. And, sometimes you get the surprise, Friday game or, just some sort of outlier or, change to the schedule. So that'll be interesting to see what the order that happens for Nebraska next year. But not surprised either to hear Nebraska not mentioned in that. Again, I think this is going to be a season and off season where the Kool-Aid doesn't flow quite as much as it usually does. And certainly from national standpoint, I don't think there would be any reason to jolt Nebraska into the top 25 unless you're just a huge Calandria fan or something like that. But so Nebraska's going to have to work. They're going to have to earn it. They're going to have to beat some really good teams next year to make a run at the playoffs or even a bowl game.
All right, Bock. Florida new coach says Florida players will have to earn the right to wear the Florida logo, which is the Gator. They have to practice in clothes without the uniform.
Wow.
Without the Florida bite head
or
whatever it is.
Yeah, that Gator head. They're going to make him earn it. I can appreciate that. I mean, I that's a program that is certainly not living up to expectations. They all kind of constantly have a coach in and out of Gainesville, and so you got to take a different approach. And they've got a lot going for them, especially in the modern age, but they just haven't been able to win. So that's something I kind of like. Again, Matt Rule's kind of got his own single digit numbers, sort of different type of ways to try to motivate. We know around here at Nebraska, there's always the motivation to get those black shirts on the defensive side of the ball. But to take away the logo, I like that to start the run there for the new coach.
Yeah. All right, Bock, anything else you got from college?
Yeah, there's a few things. One thing I did want to play, and it's John Summerall, by the way, the new Florida coach. The one thing I did want to play this weekend that got a lot of buzz was Dabo Swinney going after Pete Golding. Of course, Dabo Swinney of Clemson, Pete Golding of Ole Miss, the new coach there, talking about tampering. So I want to play this real quick and get your reaction. Here is Dabo Swinney this past weekend on Pete Golding, the Ole Miss coach.
Yeah, there's tampering, and then there's blatant tampering. Tampering 101 is when you're talking to kids who aren't in the portal. Tampering 201 is when you've already negotiated the deal with the kids not in the portal. Tampering 301 is when you got a kid who's gone in the portal, signed somewhere, moved there, gone to classes, and you're texting them while they're in class. That's like a whole nother level of tampering. And it's total hypocrisy because all this is going on while they, on the other side, are trying to fight their defensive end from going in the portal. They have accused publicly others of tampering with their roster and their players while they are over here tampering. So at 1:30, Sorrells met with Luke face-to-face in his office. And Luke communicated to Jordan and to Ben Boulware that Pete texted him on Wednesday morning, the head coach at Ole Miss, when he was in his 8 a.m. class. And he said the text message said, "I know you're signed. What's the buyout?" And he also, Luke said that Coach Golding also texted him a picture of a $1 million contract. Luke also mentioned to Jordan and to Ben that Coach Golding had Trinidad Chambliss call him from his phone, and that Coach Golding was there continuing to talk on his phone to push him to re-enter the transfer portal. He also said that Jackson Dart had reached out and called him.
So there you go. Ole Miss going through all the stops, and as Dabo Swinney likes to say, even maybe steps beyond that, tampering, if you will, a current Clemson player. Again, you kind of expected, or, without a view into the world, that's kind of where I expected it to be in its darkest circles. But, it is definitely interesting for this to be directly called out from one coach to the other. Of course, ACC to SEC. The defensive end they were talking about, Nebraska tie quickly, was Princeville Uman-Mielen, of course, who kind of had a pretty high. It got a lot of attention anyways. A lot of people were kind of paying attention to Princeville there because he signed, similar to the deal that was going on with Washington's Damon Williams, as he signed with Ole Miss and then wanted to transfer to LSU. They did end up allowing that and letting him out of the deal. But how do you feel, Terrell? We assume this is going on. Some people maybe not to that level or extent, but that's kind of what I would figure is send the blank checks or the $1 million paychecks, and to use the resources that you have as far as NFL players and all that sort of stuff to recruit a guy. How do you feel now about Dabo Swinney going out there and making it public and talking about it? And I can only say this: I hope we do get Clemson and Ole Miss in the playoffs at some point, but Clemson's going to have to do some work to get there. The other thing is Ole Miss. Go back to the Laquan Treadwell days of Bo Pelini calling them out. They've long been kind of in these discussions of finding ways to get guys on campus, and certainly have done that over the Lane Kiffin years as well, where, as Nick Saban said it at one time, I don't know why he'd go anywhere because he can get whoever he wants there at Ole Miss. But now, again, it's openly being called and called out by Dabo Swinney, of course, who has long kind of tried to hold all of this off guard, and remember, kind of famously didn't want to take players out of the transfer portal, didn't think it was the right thing to do. And he's also quoted as saying he thinks college football right now is setting up a bunch of 30-year-olds who don't have a college tuition, who've blown through all their money, all that sort of stuff. But to actively call out a specific head coach, that's a little bit new.
Well, Bock, here's the thing about college football now. Everybody crooked in it. Everybody's. From coaches to players, everybody does something crooked and try to get away with it. It's a good thing we got coaches like Dabo Swinney who likes to call people out and hold them accountable for what they did. Now, Pete Golden probably won't ever admit this, but he probably did it. I don't think any school will open up admit it. This is like free agency for college football. They're going to do whatever they can do to knock you down or to get your players, even if we paying buyouts now. They got to buy you out if you go coach at another school, so why not buy a player out? Hey, if the rule, if it's not enforced, like that, Bock, until we get rules that really regulates this in college football, this is going to go on all the time right here.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine that this is actively what's kind of happening out there. But to bring it to the forefront and to have Dabo Swinney, of course, one of the greatest coaches in modern day college football, specifically call somebody out. Very intriguing, very interesting, and I think it only gets uglier from here. We'll see if Pete Golding, like I said, you don't want to admit to doing that sort of stuff because then you might have a violation on your hands. But again, I think it's pretty much going on everywhere. Again, I think what Dabo feels like maybe have crossed the line when you're texting a kid in class, and at that time, certainly the goals there for college football have changed a little bit, as we would like to once say student athlete. It's certainly hard to pay attention to class if you're getting $1 million contracts sent your way. Yeah. I also wanted to say, bring up a few more things in college football, including Deion Sanders instituting team fines and new rules ahead of the Colorado 2026 season. We know, I think a lot of people followed Coach Sanders, Coach Prime closely. The Colorado football team fell apart this past year, went 3-9, and so he is going to have to be stricter, is what he's decided. One thing is they've brought in a lot of new players. 42 new signees will be on the Colorado team. I think a lot of people probably saw he has said he will not allow anybody to have their old team apparel inside the building. And apparently that is something that's been going on at Colorado. Otherwise it wouldn't have been a problem. So that was one thing that he mentioned. He also shared with the roster during a team meeting 8 new fines for attendance violations, along with NIL reprimands for violation of team rules and public or social media conduct. So a lot of people kind of interested in being able to find somebody. Can you find them out of their rev share deals? Obviously, it would be harder to find them, from an NIL deals perspective. It's supposed to be kind of separate with the company and all that. But it is that is very interesting to kind of think of team fines or player fines, hitting the college football level. Colorado's tardiness penalties for players. If you're late to practice, that's $500. If you don't go to practice, that's $2,500. If you're late to meeting or film session, that's going to be $400. If you don't go to the team film session or meeting, $2,000. If you're late to strength and conditioning workout, there's $1,000. If you don't go at all, there's $1,500. Late to treatment, there's $1,000. No show, $1,500. Violation of team rules based on severity will be $1,000 to $2,500. And public or social media conduct, again, based on severity, will be between $2,500 and $5,000. So, Coach Prime, again, never has done things the way typical of college football, instituting team fines. Terrell, how do you feel about this going on there in Boulder?
I love it, Deion. I love it. Hold them accountable for something. Make them great young men. Don't make them good young men. Make them great. I mean, you want to get paid like an adult? Hey, you got to have rules like an adult, Bob. You find them.
Yeah, that's what it's coming down to. And I guess if they make the money, then there is the possibility to hit them where it hurts, and maybe that will allow them to maybe show up to more meetings and stuff. It's interesting, somewhat eye-opening to see. These problems must have been at least prevalent enough that he had to go as far as to get to this point. But that's where they are. And again, we'll see if this kind of can turn around Colorado football going into the future. One other story from college football I wanted to mention, which could be very interesting here as we see a potential FCS power looking to make its move up. North Dakota State Athletic Director Matt Larson says the football program is eyeing a move to the FBS level, and in fact, the Mountain West Conference. Again, the Mountain West has been somewhat torn apart as far as moving forward. A lot of rearranging what they've needed to do there because the Pac-12 is inheriting many of their good schools. Some schools like UNLV decided to stay with the Mountain West. North Dakota State ready for the Mountain West in your mind, Terrell? I mean, I kind of am excited to see how this transitions because obviously absolute power at the FCS level. Could they bring that to the next level and start dominating the Mountain West?
I say go to the Pac-12.
I could try that too. Yeah,
hey, there's not but 3 teams. You won't be but 3. I mean, you can grow. I mean, South Dakota State always have good athletes. Is this the Jackrabbits or this is the one?
This is the Bison.
The Bisons. Oh, that's even better. I mean, they're a great team. I mean, that's even better. I mean, they're a great team. I mean, if I had to go to a lower level school, that would probably be my first choice.
Oh, yeah. They're the who's who of FCS football. Reminder, the Pac-12 is adding Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, San Diego State, Utah State, and Texas State to join Oregon and Washington State for the 2026-2027 season. So that'll be this upcoming season. Gonzaga also added, of course, they don't have the football program in, but for basketball.
All right, Bock. We getting down, Bock. First day back, and you working me, man.
We're almost there.
All right, Bock the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
At Anderson Ford, we have commission-free guides who are paid to give you a great experience, not make a sale, so you can choose the best vehicle for you. Right now at Anderson Ford, lease a 2025 Ford Escape for $222 per month. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 4003618. Lease for $222 per month for 36 months with approved credit. 7,500 miles per year. 5,000 plus first payment due at signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 2/2/26.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see lots of sunshine and it will be breezy. An afternoon high around 27. Tonight, mainly clear skies, a light breeze, the low around 13. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies with a light breeze and an afternoon high around 28. I'm meteorologist Kyle Puckett for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear with Honda of Lincoln. Before I bring Andy on, we want to wish you joy, success, and good health in 2026. Andy, are you there?
Yes, I am, Charlie. And by the way, that was well said.
Andy, I know you want to kick off 2026 with a bang. What's going on at the dealership?
We got a lot going on here, Charlie. We have incredible savings on every new remaining 2025, New Year savings on every new 2026, special low long-term financing, and special lease rates. The biggest news is we have more than 400 new 2025 and 2026 Hondas to choose from.
How about pre-owned?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned Hondas right now with prices starting at under $10,000, and we have special low rates.
Well, maybe it's time you experience the best. The Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
All right, fellas, it's January. You're setting goals, you're hitting the gym, but have you checked what's going on inside the engine? At Advanced Medical Imaging, the Wellness Within program makes it easy. They have different levels of preventive scans so you can choose exactly what fits your health goals. From quick baseline checks to full body insights. It's simple, it's smart, and it's all about keeping you in top form before problems ever sneak up. And the best part, you don't need a doctor's order. Just call AMI to schedule and make this the year you put your health on the schedule.
The place you call home should always be a place of comfort. Warm and cozy in winter, cool and relaxing in summer. If your home isn't delivering the comfort you expect, call Bryant. It's more than just hot and cold to them. It's about providing the best comfort solutions. And Bryant gives you a full 24-month test drive on your home comfort system. Get full details at BryantLincoln.com or call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. Bryant, whatever it takes.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Bock and the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We are on from 1 to 3, Monday through Friday. So up next is Jay Foreman and Austin Orman and Old School. Bock, the NCAA has now approved jersey patches for college teams starting with the 2026 fall sports season. Now, you know, teams were allowed to sell logo spaces on football fields in 24. Now it's 26. You can have them on your jersey. Who would be a great contender for the University of Nebraska?
My personal choice would be 93.7 The Ticket. I think if we could get a patch on there, we'll have to pay a few bucks for that. But
yeah, we're red and black.
yeah, it would look clean.
Yeah,
I would like it. I might maybe change the logo with the picture of my face or something before we get it done. But it'll be fun. And I do think, initially, it's just funny what has changed in college football and just in the sports world altogether. Remember when they did this with the NBA and it was initially, I was very against it. I'm a Celtics fan, so I had, pride in kind of the traditional uniform. After about 2 or 3 games, you don't even really notice it there. And it can be fine. I mean, as long as the patches don't, you don't go NASCAR crazy and have patches everywhere, then that might be kind of something that draws your attention. But at the same time too, I mean, they do that in some of the FIBA or kind of the world type of teams sometimes have that, and it doesn't become all that distracting either. So, it is, I think, of all the changes over the last 10 years in college football, and even here at Memorial Stadium where you get, alcohol being served and all that. I mean, all these hurdles that just didn't seem like we're ever going to come to college football, at least to Lincoln, Nebraska, have made their way here in the modern era, and it is, as we know, it is the money era. So anything that you can do to raise more money and maybe able to put that back into your coaching staff or your roster, or certainly as it always has been with facilities, I think teams will strike and strike a deal and get it done. So I'd be surprised. I mean, if it does, if a few teams start doing it, I'd be surprised to see, a whole lot of teams holding back and saying we're not going to quite get there. I mean, you think about maybe the Penn States, Alabamas, Nebraska, certain in the traditional schools might be later to the party. They might be the first ones. Who knows?
All right, Bock. What we got? Here we go. What's Forgot what I was looking at. All right, let's get right here. All right, Ohio State reportedly hiring Arthur Smith, former Steelers OC and Falcons head coach, as offensive coordinator. Matt Patricia is their defensive coordinator who came from the NFL last year. He did a great job. Number 1 defense in the nation. Now you have an OC coming from the NFL.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I mean, he's had plenty of experience in the NFL. In fact, was a 7-10 coach for 3 straight years for the Atlanta Falcons.
Hey, why did you throw that in there, Bob?
Well, it's just that you're a little bit familiar with him, so there's that in play too. But it is interesting. Ohio State kind of turning into a little bit kind of what Nick Saban had to deal with all the time there at Alabama's. He'd hire great coordinators and they'd make their way up the chain, and a year or two later you got to get to the next guy. And it's interesting with the tactic that they are taking. I mean, you've got 2 former NFL coaches now at the offensive and defensive coordinator position. Once again, reminds me of Alabama, because at the beginning, Nick Saban was kind of with the Kirby Smarts of the world and trying to pick out guys that might stick around, and eventually got to a point of like, you know what? This guy might not be here in 2 years. This might kind of be, as we started to kind of put it, as, a place where you can kind of reform your career, get it back going, all that sort of stuff. Feels like Ohio State has filled that void now.
All right, Bob. Now, this one is strange to me. Miami leading tackler is coming back for his 8th college football season, Bob. According to CBS, linebacker Muhammad Toure will be back to the Hurricanes for the 26th season. Toure had 84 tackles, 3 tackles for loss for 25 as the Hurricanes made it to the national championship game against Orlando. It was his first season with the Hurricanes after he transferred from Rutgers. He was with Rutgers. He was Rutgers' leading tackler in 23, where he had 93 stops and 9.5 tackles for loss, along with 4.5 sacks. He missed the 24 season after he tore his ACL. That was his second ACL tour in his left knee. He first toured it ahead of the 22 season and missed that season too. Appeared in 2 games at 19. Was granted a medical red shirt for 22 and 24.
Yeah, I can't say that I love it. Again, this is kind of the modern college football world we live in, right? I do remember Mohamed Toure at Rutgers. He's kind of started to make his name there. As you mentioned, still a guy that goes back to the 2020 season. I thought we were through with most of those, but redshirted, like you said, 1 year at Rutgers even before that. So this is going back to 2019. So that redshirt year, along with the COVID year and the 2 years out due to injury, is why you get to 8 here. But it's big. It is also interesting. At some point, the idea or the goal for a player as talented as Mohamed Toure would be to get to the NFL, right? I mean, you would think that at some point you just want to try and see what you can do. But Miami's defense has a lot of turnover. They might have definitely. I mean, I'm say might. They probably paid him quite well to return and put off his dreams of going to the NFL. But man, he's gonna be like 27 by the time he gets there.
Man, if he's been in school since
2019,
8 years.
Got a doctor's degree.
Let's say he was 18 when he graduated, Bob. He's 26 right now.
Yeah. And again, I mean, it's not like, and I've seen these, I think was the tight end that was he also at Miami that went up played in about 8 years, I believe. But this guy's not a small part of the team. Like you said, he's the leading tackler for them this past year for the team that was the runner-up in the national championship. So this is a big deal for him to get an 8th year. But my goodness, I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine there's been somebody out there that get a 9th. There's no way that, I'll just pay attention to his injury. See if he plays enough games. He might return for a 9th if he gets hurt again.
All right, Bob. Dirty Time and the boys. Hey, Farley, based on Deion Sanders' team fines, how much would you have been paid?
What do you had to pay?
I'm not really a fine guy. I mean, I'm always on time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably some off the field stuff, $200, $2,000.
Yeah. Yeah, wouldn't have been too bad. They didn't find you back then, did they?
Nah.
No, that's good.
Just looked at us. Crazy.
Made you run the stadium still.
Oh
right?
yeah, that's worse than a fine. All right, stay tuned. Up next for Jay Foreman and Austin Orman with Old School. This is Bock in the Black Shirt, 93.7 The Ticket. We'll see you tomorrow.
Let's fly. Your next trip starts at Lincoln Airport with American Airlines. Now flying nonstop service to Dallas, Fort Worth, and Chicago. American Airlines connects Lincoln to major hubs and destinations around the globe. Wherever you're headed, LNK gets you there with new nonstop flights on American Airlines.
Now boarding.
Convenient, fast, and stress-free. Book your next flight at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
All right, fellas, it's January. You're setting goals, you're hitting the gym, but have you checked what's going on inside the engine? At Advanced Medical Imaging, the Wellness Within program makes it easy. They have different levels of preventive scans so you can choose exactly what fits your health goals, from quick baseline checks to full body insights. It's simple, it's smart, and it's all about keeping you in top form before problems ever sneak up. And the best part, you don't need a doctor's order. Just call AMI to schedule and make this the year you put your health on the schedule. If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your